What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Dummy Wormy. I'm coming at you with another video. And when it came to Doctor Who and the 60th anniversary special, it was panned by audiences. This was a joke of a 60th special. This was a joke of Doctor Who altogether. It was not there to celebrate Doctor Who. It was there to just tear down one of the most beloved iterations of Doctor Who, which was helmed by RTD and David Tennant. And they did so much work to bring back both RTD and David Tennant just to tear it down in front of us. It was similar to what they've done with like The Last Jedi and other aspects of culture that we at one point loved. Having a beloved iteration of the Doctor come back, or a beloved iteration of a character come back, just to lampoon them and attack them and degrade them the entire time. But this led into another ideology that was permeating throughout all of Doctor Who for a long time now, and it culminated with The Church on Ruby Road, which was the first Christmas special in years to be aired over on the BBC. Also, the first outing of a brand new Doctor. Similarly, what has happened when it came to David Tennant. David Tennant's first outing was a Christmas special, and it had amazing numbers then. But when it came to Ncuti Gatwa's first outing as the Doctor, having these two very specific things that usually help lead to amazing numbers, amazing fan reaction, amazing timing for the Doctor. In this instance, it was the worst first outing for a Doctor ever, and the worst Christmas special ever on both ratings, response, what have you. It was panned by audiences altogether. And when you actually take a look at the overnight numbers, because you cannot trust these consolidated numbers because they came out a week later than when they were actually supposed to be dropped, the overnight numbers tells it as it is. Nobody liked this, nobody watched this, nobody actually engaged with it. You could take all these consolidated numbers all you want, but you always have to take into account that consolidated viewership was supposed to come out a week later. And what happened? They didn't drop the consolidated viewership for 2 whole weeks, which leads you to the conclusion that they fudged those numbers, that those are not accurate numbers, that these numbers here for the consolidated viewership cannot be trusted. The only numbers we can trust when it comes to the 60th special and the Christmas special is the overnight viewership, which was the worst viewership for a new Doctor and a Christmas special in history. But that's not all. After this, we ended up getting promises for what the new season is going to be bringing us. We have Millie Gibson come out promising that they are going to be trying to attract the Gen Z audience with more controversial elements, pushing more gender ideology, pushing more CRT, other DEI based ideologies, this very progressive identity politic based ideologies into the show, because controversy means Gen Z is gonna come out and actually watch it and actually step away from TikTok to watch an hour-long show. More than likely not. And it also doesn't help that when it actually comes to the new season of Doctor Who, for those of you that aren't aware, it's going to be dropping on Disney Plus first for the States, and then later in the middle of the night it will be dropping in the UK. God, yeah, it's literally made for nobody at this point. These factors right here are just some of the big issues that are going to be plaguing Doctor Who in the next season moving forward. Another thing is actually this. Doctor Who lead Ncuti Gatwa says series will definitely address protagonist's new race, feature episode inspired by actors' very leftist liberal bubble. Now, why am I focusing in on this particular article here? I know it's from last year, but this is very important. This is an article that they actually use Ncuti Gatwa's own words in which he promises to be bringing his own politics to the forefront of Doctor Who, how his own politics will be influencing these Doctor Who episodes moving forward, based on his very leftist liberal bubble, based on the fact that now he's black, and we have to talk about how the Doctor's now black, which doesn't make any logical sense because the Doctor is supposed to just be the same guy over and over and over again, just with a new coat of paint. That's what we're supposed to be doing here. So the fact that the Doctor is now black shouldn't be a big issue, but it is for Ncuti Gatwa, because again, he has episodes based on his very leftist liberal bubble, and he is going to be bringing this ideology to the forefront of Doctor Who, so much so that when he comes out and says how he wants to beat a monster by twerking or death dropping, That is important things to take into account. These are important situations that need to be addressed because he wants to bring this stuff to Doctor Who. He wants to bring this ideology to Doctor Who. He wants to push his own political agenda within Doctor Who because that's all they have. They're not creative people. They're not brand new people. They have no ability to actually write good content. They just have to constantly write their own politics within content and say that it's good. So when you get this brand new article from Breitbart in which you have Doctor Who star Ncuti Gatwa, there's so much white mediocrity that gets celebrated. When you have this article, when you have this headline, when you have him saying this stuff, it tells you exactly how he's going to be steering the Doctor, how they will be focusing in on the Doctor, and what his own ideology is that he will be bringing to the forefront of Doctor Who. And when you actually get into this, a lot of this is talking about politicians and how they separate individuals based on race, sexuality, gender, whether they're an immigrant or not, and all those issues that are plaguing the UK. So when you start separating individuals up by this and just degrading the people that actually do have issues with some of these immigration stuff, you start really segmenting out your audience. You start attacking your audience and you start separating it out even more and more. So when you get him actually coming down here and saying there's so much white mediocrity that gets celebrated, and black people, we have to be absolutely flawless to get half of that anyway, the sex education star said. That is important. Because we go back over here to an episode based on his brand new race, and episodes based on his very leftist liberal bubble. When you get things like that being said by this new Doctor, by this new outing of a Doctor, you know exactly how he is going to be painting this, how he is going to be bringing this ideology to the forefront. You're going to have the Doctor probably get told that he's bad because he's black. You're going to probably have entire episodes based on earthly racism, not space-based racism, because when it's space-based racism, that's actually interesting. That's a political intrigue on a different level that permeates a certain idea, but in a more creative and better way. But when you do it in the forefront of like the American setting, for example, when you have racism is so bad, awful, guys, you bring it to a more modern day standards, you put it in modern day politics, and you say everybody's bad for attacking black people. But on the flip side, if you do it, say with the where slavery is wrong, racism is wrong, whatnot, that is one creative that deals with a form of creativity writing, creative ideology, and makes people entertained, all while sending a message that, hey, this is wrong, we shouldn't be doing it. But on the flip side here, this is a political message. This is a political ideology that they want to push throughout everything. So you'll be having the Doctor basically getting chastised for being black now, because again, he says we celebrate white mediocrity, but he has to work twice as hard essentially as a black guy just to get half as good a treatment. That gives you where his mentality is on all this. That tells you what he thinks about individuals as of right now. That also tells you how he thinks about the fan base, how he thinks about people that actually like this stuff. He wants to bring these ideologies to the forefront, whether it's pushing gender norms when it comes to his actual outfits and what he wants to be doing as the Doctor, whether it's his own political ideology in which he wants to degrade white people whilst trying to say black people are also treated much worse, even if you're just a mediocre white guy. Okay, you get treated like crap as a black guy, so on and so forth. Bringing these political ideologies to Doctor Who is going to continue to segment out the fan base, is going to continue pushing people away, and is going to continue leading to the end of Doctor Who. Doctor Who's on its last leg. I'll be shocked if it survives 2 seasons over on Disney Plus, because again, the biggest factor to all this is they aren't making the show for anybody at this point. They don't have an audience. Their audience is gone. They are promising to push more politics into Doctor Who. They are promising to make it more controversial for a Gen Z audience that does not exist. And on top of that, again, they are pushing this via Disney Plus, giving it to America first and the UK second. All these factors pulled together, bringing it together, tells you exactly what's going to be happening. They have no audience. They only want to push ideology. They want to keep pushing ideology, and they have no plans to actually get a new audience, because that audience that they want doesn't exist or is too busy, again, watching TikTok all day and night. But hey, Yes, threw away your old audience for politics. Why not just keep trying to fail at getting a new audience with politics? But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me get your guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it up, friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, guys. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.